your videos. It is more of a digital look at 30 frames versus 24.
Wow, and of course at that moment when you're getting that sophisticated with frames per second, all of a sudden you got to start figuring out how to edit this stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's where I started finding out that, man, maybe I could have a career in something other than acting like a goofball on camera.
Oh, fantastic! So end up that Tim ends up being kind of the post-production guy or one of the post-production guys. Is that how it works?
I am a post-production guy, but don't worry, I am not a nerd. Okay, So yeah, I do not go into that category. I stay as cool as I possibly can, and I love visual effects. I love editing. Oh man, yeah. Maybe I am a bit of a nerd, but don't tell anybody. I hope this isn't live.
No, you do. You do not look like a nerd there, Tim. Matter of fact, I just love you guys' photos and layouts on your Facebook page. If people want to check you guys out while we're talking here, correct me if I'm wrong, but can't they go to the Wade Brothers on Facebook?
They can. Yep.
Yeah, you could just go on there and search up Wade Brothers, and our page will pop up.
And Phillp is the slightly older one there, folks, if you're going to look for it. They're both really good-looking guys, but tell me, how many Wade Brothers and or family members are there?
Well, we got a total of, there's 7 kids, so there's 6 brothers and 1 sister.
Oh my goodness! Is that the wonderful family photo that I see you guys posing in front of a? I think it was a film review or a debut of one of your productions, and everybody standing together. I think even the younger guys. You've got younger brothers, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's the picture from our premiere that we did a few months ago for The Manifest. It's a film that's on Amazon Prime right now.
Well, I want to talk about that because that got some awards that I think are people ought to know about. But how about this? Why don't we give a shout out? Why don't you mention each one of your siblings, if you can, just to say, hey, I mentioned you on the air.
Yeah, you betcha. So we got DJ, who's the youngest. We got Danny, second. We got Matthew, Stephen, and then, of course, Tim and myself. And then my sister, Patty.
Wow, wonderful. That's quite a group there. And I bet your dad is quite proud of you at this point. I don't know, is he still living at this point?
Oh, yeah, you betcha. Yeah. It's all from just one marriage. Well, actually 2 marriages, but same parents. So
yeah, nice, very nice.
Yeah, they got divorced and then remarried. So
okay, you got a guest, but it's not letting me take him on. I'm sorry to say.
Okay, so you can't bring on the other guest right now. Is that what you're saying, Gary?
Right.
Okay. Well, just let us know if we can bring him on or not.
No, it's not going to let me. You might let your, reporter know.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Okay, guys.
Well, howdy, this is Tim.
Hey, this is your man, Phil.
Well, I'm hoping we can get Michael back on.
Okay.
Michael, are you back on? Michael, are you there?
Hello.
Okay.
Hi, I'm here. I'm back, Gary.
Okay, everybody's here.
Good. All right. Well, yeah, I would try to get into your manifest film right now. That would be kind of interesting for folks to hear about how that was produced, what it's about, and where the heck they can find that out there. Because I understand you got quite a few awards on that one.
Oh yeah, that was a really fun project. It was one of our first big ventures that we did, and so there are three of us that produced this film. Myself, Tim, and our business partner, Rick Lord. This project took a year to produce, and Tim and I both quit our jobs to do this, and just focused full time on making this film. It's a 30-minute science fiction flick. It centers around a post-apocalyptic type world where we have the government that's been taken over by aliens, and there's a family that's living off the grid, and they're trying to survive on their own. So that's the premise of the film. And we actually put it together about 4 years ago, I think, right, Tim? About 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got it up on Amazon Prime here recently, as well as iTunes and Google Play. So, yeah, we built 2 sets for that project. And, yeah, man, it was quite an ordeal.
Wow. So let's get into a little bit more of the plot line, if you can, without giving away too much spoilers here. But first of all, who wrote the script to this film?
Yeah, so that was written by Rick Lord, and then Tim wrote the narration that runs through it as well. So it was Rick and Tim on that side of things.
Wow. And are you who's the director of this production?
Rick was the director while we were filming, and then afterwards, Tim took it, and we took all the footage and made a kind of a different version of it. And so, to a certain degree, I think we all ended up being directors on it over time, But on set, yeah, Rick was the director.
Wow, yeah, very interesting. And of course, it takes a little bit of funding to get something like this together. Once you come up with the concept, the idea, was this something that you had to put your own money into to actually create at that point?
Yeah, absolutely. It was money that pretty much came from just working extra jobs and here and there, and so I mean the price tag of it was about $7,500, and it doesn't include all the labor and time and everything we put into it, of course, but a lot of hard costs were about $7,500, and that was just saved up between Tim and I, taking our money from their jobs that we were doing and putting it into the film project.
Oh, that's great. I just love it. You made an entire feature for $7,500. That's quite. I think that's one of those stories you'll be ended up telling as you're getting more famous. That hey, we threw in our own money and made a small budget film. Gosh, but it was close. It was 30 minutes long. But we should have made it into a feature. We had everything. We had the sets there. Everything was ready to go. So it's definitely one of the regrets that I have looking back on it now is that, we could have just shot another, 40 minutes and made it into a feature. Yeah. Well, of course, you learn as you go that would have been a prudent thing to do. But now that you know that, I'm assuming you kind of shoot for longer films now at this point.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Our new film, Mount Adams, coming out next year in theaters. That is a 100-minute film, right, Tim?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. So we're editing that. We shot that 2 years ago. And, yeah, Tim's running on the editing of that, doing the visual effects. And, all the composing the music. I mean, there's so many different aspects. I mean, even just filming, getting this film through development and pre-production and then filming it was a enormous challenge. But we're lucky, we got through it and we got all the shots we were looking for.
Wow. Well, can you give us a little hint on what we can expect with this new film, Mount Adams, when it comes out?
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, Tim, why don't you give them the brief summary?
Oh, no problem. Let's see. I mean, you can expect tons of gore and death and zombies and all that crazy stuff. That pretty much sums it up, right? No, just kidding. No, yeah, actually, this film is about a bunch of UFO enthusiasts, researchers, and they go up to Mount Adams, and they end up realizing that there is a lot more to the alien phenomenon than they first realized. So they end up getting into a lot of trouble, and it's just sort of how they end up surviving up there and hopefully, not any spoilers, but, hopefully some of them will make it out alive.
Wow. So it is, I don't know, is it a horror film genre or is it just an adventure film?
No. It's more of an adventure film. We like keeping our stuff, all family friendly, so.
Nice. Yeah. Well, tell me a little about the cast that you assembled for that production.
Let's see. Yeah, well, we've got in the movie we have Greg James. He was featured in Wild with Reese Witherspoon. Edward Steiner. We have of course we have Matthew, one of my younger brothers. He's in it as well. That's his first feature film project. Then I'm in the lead role. Of course, I have to write myself in the lead role. I wouldn't be a good writer if I didn't.
Well, I think that's a great idea because it puts it does. I know how you feel. I've written a few screenplays myself, and with my own self in mind. Of course, I've never done them yet, produced them, but it puts a lot of pressure on yourself. But it gives you a real interesting perspective when you're actually writing the drafts, doesn't it? When you're kind of the main character.
It really does. I mean, what was interesting for me is, I absolutely love writing, and I really love acting. And it was interesting how when I wrote the character, I didn't really think of it, you think of it outside of yourself, as if, you're not going to be playing that character. So you write that character, you develop it. And then when it's like, okay, this would work. So it's not, you don't write it based on what you want to do or see. You have to make sure the story comes first, and then when when you actually get into acting, it actually sort of, it became a fun character that I could actually.
Excuse me, guys. You got that call you've been waiting for, so let's make sure they're there.
Oh, great. Tim and Phil, hang on just a second, and let's see if we can bring in our special guest. Is that you, Peter? Are you there?
It is I, Michael. Good evening, and how are you?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm doing well, and thank you for butting in with us here. I really appreciate you joining the show at Night Dreams Talk Radio. Let me introduce you very quickly, Peter, to the Wade brothers, Phillp and Tim, who are film producers that I'm interviewing tonight. Say hello to Peter, folks.
Hello, Peter. How are you?
Good evening. Tim. Nice to meet you over the air.
It's good to talk to you again. We last talked at the McMinnville UFO Festival.
Oh, yes. I remember the two of you.
Yep. That was us.
Yep. Well, I thought I'd give you a call, Michael, and I thought the newly installed host of the Night Dreams Talk Show Radio would enjoy a brief update on some of the latest sightings that have been reported to the National UFO Reporting Center. And I have three very interesting reports that have never been discussed on radio before.
Wow. Well, thank you, Peter. I know that you are diligent in making sure that all the new reports that come in are responded to and recorded for our listening pleasures out there. Before we get into your current reports, let's make sure that the folks know that right now they can actually go